Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm out on the bike today and I'm doing a recce run. I'm not entirely bloody thing. Right, so that's rubbish. Oh dear me. Oh well, obviously in Wales I lost the camera, so I resurrected the old hero, but that is completely useless and has died. So yes, I am out on the bike today. I'm up on the beautiful North Yorkshire moors, looking out to the west. I've got fantastic weather. Looking out to the east and a little bit south, less so, but the front is blowing that way, so I should stay dry today. I'm doing a recce for an up and coming TRF event, which typically this is going to be my day 2, which will take me to the forests of Scarborough, but incidentally I don't know whether you can see right off on the distant horizon there, that isn't actually cloud, that is smoke. That is one of the largest moorland fires that I can certainly remember in my living memory, where last week in real time pretty much all of Langdale was on fire. The authorities thought they'd got on top of that and doused it down, but over the weekend that we've just come out of, that fire flared up again unfortunately, and it's now jumped over the road onto Fylingdales moor. So Fylingdales moor is on fire as well. So yes, unfortunately, and we'll see certainly when we get closer as the video unfolds, pretty much everything out the back of Scarborough is on fire. So devastating, absolutely devastating, all gone up in flames. So on that rather somber note, I can't do piece to camera because this hero is not a hero at all. So that should give you guys enough time to grab yourself a brew, grab yourself a beer and come with me on this recce run. Hopefully we'll get a bit of a loop in, but we'll see what happens when we get over towards the fire area of Scarborough. Let's roll VT.
Where do you go when you're young, when you're restless, when you're fun, cause you're desperate? Oh, here they come for a chance, for adventure. What's your poison, what's your pleasure?
Okay then folks, so that is the titles out of the way as you've seen. So as we crest over here, we're working our way towards the eastern edge of the national park. That opening section incidentally was filmed from the very, very western edge of the national park, looking right across, probably about 30 miles across to the eastern edge. Now what I'm going to try to do is just convey just the scale of this fire, and I'm not going to make the video about the fire obviously, but it is a huge event in the national park. So as we're high above Whitby here, we can see a lot more closely this kind of what looks like a cloudscape, but it isn't cloud, it is actually smoke. And Fylingdales moor is across to our right hand side there, and I totally appreciate that the GoPro will throw things a long way away, but that is just incredible, just mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. Okay, so we're just rounding past, coming towards Hogarth's Dairy now, which is just down here to our immediate left. Now let me see if I can get a bit of perspective for you guys. Look at this. This is Fylingdales' early warning system that used to be the golf balls back in the 60s, 70s and 80s. I certainly remember those as a kid, dominating the landscape and the skyline. And as we work our way towards Whitby, I can now start to smell and just taste a little bit of burnt heather, burnt moorland. But look at that, that is quite unprecedented. I'm not entirely sure how far my road takes me, pretty much over and through that smoke column. I'm not entirely sure how much of this recce ride that we're going to get done, and indeed how much, depending whether the authorities get this fire under control or not, how much that is going to impact on the up and coming event, which pales into absolute insignificance compared to the damage and devastation that's been caused at the moment. But yeah, let's have a look. So the emergency services obviously are involved, so are the MOD now. It's been declared as a national incident, so the MOD are involved, and also local farmers, contractors, and yeah, people up there with Bowsers just trying to douse the moorland down. The farmers are up there trying to cut fire breaks in through the heather. Yeah, it is a really sorry state of affairs. Oh my life, this is like, I don't know, it's almost like apocalyptic. Look at the colour of the sky. This is like a yellowy orangey kind of colour. As we work our way through Horsker, We're not quite into that smoke column yet, but man alive, would you look at that. Personally, I've never experienced anything like this before. The smell, that acrid smell that's in the sky, and I'm not even into the thick of it yet. This is just unbelievable, just absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, we're just plunging into the murk now, and here we go into that smoke column. This is incredible. So I'll put the bike here on purpose. It's just having a little bit of a rest. So yeah, this is really, it's the second lane that I've chosen to come down. There's a ford at the bottom, just goes down to Boggle Hole, and yeah, look at all of these cars. Absolutely crazy. Nobody reads maps anymore. 7 cars I've just counted there. So this little MB van here, MBA Systems, yes, you guys will be looking to replace that clutch. Look at the smoke pouring out of the bonnet and the smell of burning clutch. Dear me, that is one goosed clutch. Cannot believe that people do not read maps. So let's have a look around anyway while we're here. So we've got Ravenscar across the way there. The fires are burning off to our right hand side, and this is a steep descent down through the woods up to that farm at the top there. We have a bit of a ford to go through, but there should be no dramas with that. Once these cars get out of the way, it's incredible how many people cannot reverse as well. Dear me, the Seat Leon, unbelievable. So as with any recce, it is time seldom wasted, and here we are at the ford, which is almost completely empty. That's quite interesting. That I never realised that this was here, and I think the advice that I took from our chairman of the TRF, thank you very much DC, was the ford can be quite long, but it's relatively smooth and quite grippy in the bottom. So yes, that is definitely going to appear on the route for sure. What a beautiful little descent that was. Holy moly! So here is what looks like a roadblock. I'm not entirely sure I'm on the right side of the roadblock or not, but we'll find out. Looks like we are. Thank you very much, sir. Road closed. Wow, I thought that little stretch of the Flask was inordinately quiet, so they must have had the road closed somewhere after Horsker, or where I turned off left down towards Robin Hood's Bay. I kind of did a little bit of loop and circumnavigated the road closed bit, so yeah, that's probably most likely just for the smoke and visibility. Just having to watch the map a little bit here. This is another new to me trail. So we're in Cloughton Village, a very strange sounding name. Roads are unduly quiet today just because there's so many of them are closed. Yeah, so many of the roads are closed, like the main roads through to Scarborough to Whitby, and I would imagine when I get there the Whitby to Pickering road as well, mostly due to smoke, I'm guessing. So this looks like it's had a little bit of a strim of late, right up until the point that you disappear into the trees. Now, I've never done this trail before, so yeah, it's always good to do new to me trails. I can see how this will be quite sloppy in the wet, just judging by the rut that's formed there. Yeah, that looks all very pleasant, and it's nice just to add these little link sections to the repertoire. Just extends that trail knowledge out a little bit. Please close the gate and keep chained at all times. Absolutely, sir, no problem with that whatsoever. How nice is this? Do you know, I love it. This is what I'm going to really enjoy about today, but particularly when I do the up and coming TRF event, is just riding through the trees. There's something about these nadgy little lanes that bring you out through the trees into the forests. Absolutely spectacular. And what a place, what a day. I just hope we have good weather for that event as well. Okay, so we follow the woodland around. Definitely don't go up the hill there. Yeah, we don't go up the hill. Follow the woodland around. Stay on this contour. Looks like the well-trodden path is to our left there. And yeah, best get a bit of momentum going because we don't want to be falling into that holly bush. Second gear. Yeah, that's going to be quite muddy and sloppy. Bit of momentum. Whoa. Trees in your face aren't normally too much of a drama, but when it's holly bushes, then it really is a bit of a drama. This is pretty. Thank you very much for this, DC. Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, this is alright. This is good. And the rest of it, I have done this before, albeit coming down the hill. But running it this way, I'll cut out a reasonable amount of road section as well, which is always a bonus. That's a big old building, that. Big old building indeed. So yes, I have absolutely no idea what awaits me. I am reliably informed that this is, relatively speaking, big bike friendly, so we're going to find out in very, very shortly. What a beautiful, beautiful part of the world. Could you imagine living here? This would just be incredible. Very hard in winter, but very picturesque as well. I believe we just follow the road around, and then there's a set of junctions which we take the middle one, I do believe. All good so far. Look how quickly we're climbing. Just trees all around us. Just perfect. You know when you're somewhere that you've never been before and you're just double checking, triple checking the map? Wow, this is a lovely, lovely climb. A lot of deforestation going on here, a lot of harvesting. We can't lose sight of the fact that these forests are a crop. Second gear, climb baby climb. Look at the altitude we're gaining. This is phenomenal. That is a big old drop down to the side there. Now then, yeah, we'll look like we're good. So far, so good. What a beautiful lane. I can't believe that I have never come across here before. I guess I've always kind of shied away from the fact of kind of exploring out a bit more than what I already know in the forests behind Scarborough. So it looks like quite a bit of this single track ruttiness till we get to the end. Whoa, that's a little bit low, even for me. Oh, that was top of the helmet job, that one. Alright, let's just have a double check. Oh, we get to the end of here and then we kind of bear diagonal, I think, and we'll be off somewhere to the left. So I'll need to keep an eye out for that. I'm sure it'll be subtle. This is a beautiful track. Right, whoa. Right, okay, so track immediately to the left is that footpath there. So I'm guessing now we go diagonally across this way. So the easiest thing to do when you're unsure is get yourself a little bit way down the path and then just have a look at the map just to check that the marker has moved, and it has. We're exactly where we need to be. So down to the bottom and then we're across to the right. Look at this. Wow. You could stealth camp in here very, very easily. Oh, that's a nice little link. Brings us out onto what is a forest trail. Looking at this. This is superb. Absolutely loving this. So, let's get a wiggle on. And we're on our own today, so we don't have to worry about kicking plumes of dust up for anybody. This is superb. Woohoo! Loving this T7. Yeah, baby. Pulls like a train. So yeah, all looking good on the map. So the powers of doing a recce have just literally forged my way through this stuff now. There's no way you can get an ADV bike through here. Absolutely not, even in the best of hands. Not that mine are, but as I come out here, there is a clearly defined path. So that's obviously the right away where we go. And if I follow this back, that should, yeah, that's subtle. You're going to miss that. If you hadn't done a recce, which I did, miss that. There's the post. So it is only, what, 50 metres across to the right, but that is our legal trail. Now we've got a little bit of this to do, so it looks like it's going to be very interesting. Wow, look at that. This is magical. Very forgiving is second gear on this bike. It needs to be with a rider like me at the helm. I just find that first gear for this type of stuff is a bit too snatchy, where you just want a nice smooth power delivery. So just while it's quite important that you realise when you're getting a little bit tired and just to stop and have a bit of a rest. This is our track, fairly inauspicious now. There's a couple of rutty sections here, but it is bone dry. And I would imagine come the winter time, when there's been, you know, weeks and weeks and maybe months of rain, this is going to be quite a handful to bring a big bike across here. A lot of it is off camber, a lot of it is deep ruts, and I would imagine that a lot of it will be full of water as well. But what an absolutely gorgeous place that we're in. So yes, this is definitely one for the memory banks, and certainly one that I will be across again. That said, I'm not out yet, so let's see if I feel the same when I hit the tarmac at the other end. You have absolutely got to embrace ruts if you're going to do that section. Make no bones about that. And this bit in front of us doesn't look any different either. Tiny little bit of dual track, and then we're back into single track again. But this, yeah, this is superb. But it is in the dry, doable. I'd imagine the wet, this is going to be quite the handful. But wow, look at this. So glad that I opted to come out and explore this. Just keep it going, don't look to the drop. I don't know whether I'm in the right place now with all these tree roots, so I don't think it's too far before we drop out of the trees and down to the residence, which is the namesake of the lane keeper's cottage. Let me just check before we just descend. Yeah, that's that way. What I don't want to do is descend somewhere that I can't get back up, so I can get the bike out here if I need to. Am I on the right track? Okay, so yes, time spent on recce is a time seldom wasted. So I have got a very faint track crossed on my right hand side. That's this one here that follows the escarpment along. Also one on my left hand side, which is through there, very difficult to see, and the one that goes very steeply down this hill. Now I do recall DC advising me to run it this way, so I didn't have a very steep ascent, particularly if it's wet. But before I got the bike halfway down there and realised that was the wrong one, it's always wise to get off the bike and just have a little bit of a walk and double check that you are actually in the right place. And we are. This is our descent. Now, I do say this all the time, obviously the GoPro just robs descents of any amount of severity, grading, difficultness, etc. But yeah, wow, this is steep. Definitely right to run this in a downward direction. Outside of the fact that you can't really stand up, that would be very problematic on a bigger bike. But yes, certainly glad that I've done this one. But as I say, I think if it's astronomically wet, ow, even this downhill section, look at this for ruts, you would be slopping your way all over the place. Yeah, you've got to embrace ruts if you're going to do this trail. Make no bones about that. And this looks like we're out of the woods now, across the pastures, and then we pick the access road up to the residentials. The namesake, I believe, is Keeper's Cottage. So here I am. This is the end of the section that I'm going to do a double take on later in the ride, or when I do the proper ride. Now this section here I have ridden all the way along the bottom to literally about 200 meters away from where we are at the moment, but it's quite a steep descent, quite a lot of roots, etc. So I couldn't make that ascent up, and it was very wet as well. So this is one of those that when we go down it, we're going to be super committed. How do? Oh, it's incredible there. Yeah, those first people that I met just started off really polite, and then all of a sudden, no, you can't ride down there. So yes, as I was saying, one of those bits that once you're committed to it, there's very few places that for a bigger bike that you can actually turn it around on your own, bearing in mind. So we start off fairly inauspicious, but then here we are, boom, downhill we go. So this is a little bit heart in mouth, because I'm not entirely sure, having never ever ridden this before, what I'm going to encounter. Lots of rocks. Might not be too bad coming back up here. You'd have to be pretty committed though, and to be fair, for a bigger bike it would absolutely 100% need to be dry. But how pretty is this? Wow, I can see a big old step there, probably by where that tree is. And this is the problem, I guess, is that it is just so rutty. Do you know, I'm going to sit down, discretion being the better part here. I don't want to drop the bike and damage it. I've got a little bit of a train track rut. Glad I did that. Bramble in my face. And this is as far as I got before. I literally got to the bottom section here, and that was it. I couldn't get any further. And up we go. That's it. Up we go. Now I think it was either January or February, about 2 years ago now, that I did this. And man alive, was it tough. I was really not bike fit at all. I wasn't used to this bike. Confidence levels were quite low. And thanks to DC, our TRF chairman, he led us across this route, and yeah, it was just hanging out my backside by the time we got to the end of it, and then we got stuck. Couldn't get up that little bit that we just come down, so we had to turn around and reverse the route back out. Oh my life, I was absolutely spent. Now it's dry today, so look at that, all of these trees that have been blown over and taken care of by the TRF. This one's quite low. Oh, it's actually lower than the mirror. Oh, that is a bit of a squeeze. Squash and a squeeze. Yes, I can. Oh. Yes, I think this is going to be a very good route for that TRF event that's coming up. I'm absolutely loving this, and that's even though I know I'm on my own, and I generally don't push myself very much when I'm on my own, just because if you do get unstuck, well, you've just got yourself and you to rely on. So we've just come along this side of Troutsdale here, and we've got Troutsdale, Keeper's Cottage, etc. over there. That's where we were not too long ago, and this is where I found the little switchback. So I have just gone down, turned around and come back, because I did overshoot it, to be fair. Cameras obviously belittle any amount of severity of gradient. This isn't ridiculously steep, but it's steep enough that it's certainly going to keep you focused. Second gear, power on, all the way up to the top, I guess. Don't really know what I'm going to meet on the way up there, so let's go find out. Here we go. First, second gear. So I am just trying to pick a route, but I can feel the back end just spinning up a little bit. Let's go for the rut. Yep, there we go. Centre line, I think. What a beautiful climb. Right, let's just double check the map. We can't possibly do... Yeah, we're definitely right here. Look at this. Wow. Absolutely loving today. Loving every minute of it. Right. Just hard on the brakes there. Look at that. Rutastic. Yet again. This would be bog-tastic, I'm sure. Come the wet. Even these bits of mud now would be quite the bog. There we are. Only short bits. Probably where a watercourse dissects and runs over the path. But to be fair, you know, it's sections like that that keep you honest. If it was all just dual track, well, I guess it wouldn't be very, well, not just challenging, but it wouldn't be very interesting either. But this way, it is. And here we are, back out to where we started. Oh, dear me, reg plate off. That's not so good. I think I know where it is, so let's backtrack and hopefully we'll pick it up. Okay, so I'm back on the lower reaches of Troutdale again. You can see the reg plate is missing. I did have it on with those daft little gaffy plastic reg plate screws, but I came tanking along here, and rather foolishly I never saw that dip there and this dip here, so I pinged off that one really hard, so much so that I slammed on, kind of took that one and stopped the bike where it is there and did a quick kind of fork damage assessment. But yeah, properly impacted into this. And yeah, here we are, look, there is the reg plate. Ironically, we are intact. I've just lost the screws, that's perfect. So I do carry some spare screws, nylox, so I'll get that put on with a couple of penny washers and we should be good to go. Oh, it really is important to, you know, carry around these side pods here, just full of you never know, just in case. And here, ho, reg plate fell off. So yeah, I've got the tools, I've got the socket set. So a set of M6s with they're on a hex drive, granted, with a set of nylox and some penny washers. So yes, backtrack, pick the reg plate up, and we're all back road legal now. So yeah, really worthwhile carrying some spares, especially when you ride in remote places as we do. So let's backtrack our way through and pick Dalby Forest up. Albeit I could spend forever here. This is beautiful. Whoa, the sun is well and truly out, that is for sure. So tell you what, whoa, huh. There we go. Huh. Almost overcooked that. Yes, the sun is well and truly out for sure. So we hang a left just down here, and what I can see is plumes and plumes of smoke just from Fylingdales moor. So when we close the video out, we'll get the drone airborne and we'll see if we can get some panoramic photos of just the extent of that fire damage. So this is where we hang a left, and it isn't a very well travelled trail, this one. But it's always worth doing. You kind of feel like you're just forging your way through the undergrowth, which I guess you are to a larger degree. But it's a nice little link. It's worth doing this one. Just gets you off that relatively dull forest drive. And when I say relatively dull, almost overcooked it and went straight on. But hey ho, I was too busy concentrating on the smoke and the fires. I nearly had a fire of my own. And there's the marker post at the end there, just after this tree, that sees us pick up the forest drive. Well folks, that is us just about done. Don't know how well you're going to be able to see that right across the way there. That is the fire just burning away. Just massive, massive swathes of lands, as I've said, all the way through this video. So I've just dropped out of Dalby Forest here. We're going to leave you with some drone footage as we close the video down. I've got Thompson's rig to do, which is stretching away to the north, and then hopefully I'll pick up the Whitby Road if that is open. Fingers crossed that's open. If not, I'll be heading down south towards Pickering and then take a run back that way. As you can see here, we are absolutely surrounded by forests. What a beautiful part of the world, come rain or shine. And on a day like today when it's sunny, it's hard to see how you could not absolutely love riding through this terrain. So if you've stuck with me to the end, then thank you very much for your company as always. If you haven't done so, please hit that subscribe button. That does wonders for the YouTube channel. And if you care to do so, then leave a comment. I do my level best to reply to all of the comments, and give the video a thumbs up as well. That also helps the growth of the channel. So from me to you guys, wherever your adventure takes you, keep it safe, keep it shiny side up, folks. Enjoy your ride, and we will catch you for the next one. Cheers, folks. Bye now, bye.